Victoria now. It's been a full day. Do you have energy left?
Yeah, health. So health is something that everyone has been increasingly caring about. We're really, we're always thinking, what can I put into my body that will make me more healthy? What supplements should I be taking? What food group should I be eating? Oh, how many hours of exercise should I be doing per day? But a lot of people aren't really thinking about the internal things to health. I like crafting. I like so many things. In fact, I'm also the president of my school's health council. Something we often neglect, and I know I have neglected a lot in the past, is sleep. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of sleep. Why exactly am I choosing the topic of sleeping? Well, a few months ago during my exam season, I would often sleep at 3, 4, or 5 a.m. because I was cramming for my exam and I had come home late because of my extracurriculars. I would wake up after really minimal sleep, and my friend asked me, Victoria, do you not feel tired? Do you not feel like you're making a lot of careless mistakes? And I said no. And that's when a light bulb really flicked in my head. I realized that I was so tired that I didn't even realize when I was tired anymore. I was making so many mistakes I thought were normal and were just part of life. But I realized, in fact, that this was not true, and I was severely sleep deprived. I would have alarms, 5 alarms, and they would ring for 30 minutes, and I still wouldn't wake up. And this is the result of severe sleep deprivation. So why should we get enough sleep? There are a lot of short-term effects of not getting enough sleep. For example, not sleeping can make you feel more stressed, and your mood will not be as good. You won't be able to talk to people as well because you're going to be groggy the whole day. When you sleep, you also process information you learn. So actually sleeping more can actually help you perform better in school. Some long-term effects to not sleeping enough is you might get sick more often, and you're more susceptible to long-term chronic health problems. You will also become overall more smart when you sleep more long-term, and it will help you improve your brain performance, and it will maximize your emotional well-being. What are the effects of sleep on teens and kids? Well, when we sleep, we produce a certain type of growth hormone that allows us to grow taller, grow stronger, grow smarter, and so much more. So if we're not sleeping, we're not really getting as much of the hormone as we're supposed to be producing. The hormone is in fact suppressed. So I'm not becoming as smart as I possibly can be if I'm not really getting enough sleep. When you sleep, that's also when your body replenishes, and that's when your wounds get fixed as well. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you're not really going to be building up the proteins as well, and you're going to have cuts open for a lot longer. You won't be generally as healthy as you can possibly be. So how can I change my sleep habits for the better? There are so many factors to sleep, and get ready because there are so many parts of sleep that you probably don't even know. So first of all, the biggest question that so many people have Googled probably hundreds of times is how many hours of sleep am I supposed to get? Sadly, I do not have the answer for you because it is not one size fits all again. Your sleep is determined genetically because it revolves around something called your circadian rhythm, and that is determined by genetics. There are some factors that can affect your circadian rhythm as well. So one thing might be puberty. So circadian rhythm is basically how your behaviors are over a 24-hour cycle. So things like the sunset and the sunrise can affect your circadian rhythm, and that's why it changes while you travel. Something we face a big issue with it today is that we're often inside with lights, and that can affect your circadian rhythm. Or when you sleep, if you don't use blackout curtains, that affects your circadian rhythm as well. Something that affects it very majorly that a lot of people don't know is puberty. So when kids go through puberty, there are reproductive hormones being produced, and that shifts your circadian rhythm backwards. So kids might be tired at around 10 p.m., but as soon as they go through puberty, they're starting to feel more tired at 11, 12, or even 1 a.m., and they naturally want to wake up later. That's something super normal, and you should really forgive your teenagers for wanting to do this, because this is a really natural process that a lot of people don't know about. Your circadian rhythm can also shift with age as well, and that's why a lot of elderly people want to sleep a little earlier as well. Your circadian rhythm can also shift with chronic issues as well. So, there's a chart over here with the recommended amount of hours you should sleep. So if you're 3 to 5 years of age, you should sleep around 10 to 13 hours per day. And if you're 6 to 12, you should sleep around 9 to 12 hours. And then if you're around 13 to 18, you should sleep around 8 to 10 hours. And if you're an adult or senior, you should sleep around 7+ hours. Do not deviate from your normal circadian rhythm by more than 2 hours, because that's when you can sleep more, but you can still feel more tired and groggy. So even if you're trying to catch up on sleep, do not oversleep, because that's just going to be counterintuitive and you're throwing off your circadian rhythm. Something else that's really important with sleep is your sleep hygiene. There are so many factors to sleep hygiene. For example, the foods you eat. If you're eating a lot of junk food with horrible chemicals, you're going to feel really fatigued throughout the day, even if you slept enough. So make sure you eat the proper nutrients you need for your body and eat, obviously, the correct amount of food for each food group. Something else that's super important is your environment. So make sure you're not really skimping on your bedding, your sheets, your mattress, because good sleep can impact your mood a lot. Something else that's important is exercising throughout the day so you feel tired at night and you're ready to sleep. But do not exercise right before bed, because your heart rate is going to go up and you're not going to be able to fall asleep anymore. Something else that our body likes is sleeping in cooler temperatures. So I recommend you sleep at around 18 degrees Celsius so your body enjoys the sleep more and you fall asleep more quickly. Something else that's important for sleep hygiene is making sure that you're only using your bed for sleep. So don't do your homework on your bed, don't watch TV on your bed, because that's when your brain starts mixing the area up. But if you only sleep on your bed, once you get on the bed, your brain tells you, oh, I know, it's time to sleep. I need to sleep. Something else I recommend you doing is not watching your devices right before you sleep, because screens produce blue light and that blocks melatonin. Melatonin is something that helps you fall asleep. So if you're blocking melatonin, you're not going to fall asleep as quickly as you want to. If you must use your devices, then I recommend you invest in a pair of blue light glasses to block the blue light so you can fall asleep more quickly. Something else that's really common in our modern day society is jet lag. Because a lot of us are very privileged to be able to travel around the world, we're faced with completely different cycles. All the way across to China, that's a 12-hour time difference. This can be completely taxing on the body and make you feel extremely tired. So I can recommend you not to change your circadian rhythm that much, but if you do, try to really be strict on your sleeping and make sure you recover as fast as possible, or it can really affect your mental state. Some things that can help you fall asleep if you're having trouble falling asleep are some melatonin. Melatonin is what you produce to help you fall asleep, and some people take pill supplements of melatonin or gummy supplements of melatonin. Well, melatonin is kind of a slippery slope, because if some people take it long term, your body kind of adjusts to melatonin and you need more and more to fall asleep. And also, if you take too much melatonin, it can actually have opposite effects and make you feel more awake. But if you want some more natural ways to fall asleep more quickly, there are some foods that can actually promote falling asleep more quickly. For example, we first have kiwis. They have carotenoid, which can help you fall asleep more quickly. Cherries actually have natural melatonin in it that can help you fall asleep. And a warm glass of milk has tryptanoid that can help you really fall asleep faster because of certain amino acids that are in the milk. So something that's really crucial for you to understand to get the best sleep possible is your sleep cycle. The sleep cycle is super duper complicated, but let me try to simplify it for you. So if you look over here to your sleep cycle, you can see the first stage is N1. This lasts around 5 to 7 minutes, and this is when you're first falling into sleep. You can easily wake up after being in the first cycle because this is when your body relaxes a little bit, but not really completely. So the next stage over here is N2. This is where you're in light sleep. This lasts around 35 to 35 minutes, and this is where your muscles relax even more, and this is where your eyes stop moving, and you're really getting into that sleep. And you have light brain activity. So the third stage to your sleep cycle is over here called deep sleep. This is where you do not want to wake someone up. Because if you wake someone up while they're in deep sleep, then they will not be very happy with you and you will be more tired throughout the rest of the day. Deep sleep is a really, really important phase in your sleep because this is where delta waves are being produced, and this is where you really process the information you learn throughout the day. This is where your memory is being established, and this is where your creativity comes from. If you're not getting enough deep sleep, you're not going to be your best self, your most creative and smart self. The last stage of the sleep cycle is called the REM cycle, which stands for rapid eye movement. This is where all your vivid dreams are happening. You can dream during any sleep cycle, but the REM cycle is where the best dreams or most intense dreams are formed. A sleep cycle usually lasts from 90 minutes to 110 minutes, but it can be affected by, for example, your age, insomnia, alcohol, and more. Those things all decrease your sleep cycle. Why is this bad? Well, if your sleep cycle is decreased, then that means that you're not getting as much deep sleep and REM sleep. So you're not really processing as much information, your muscles aren't building as well, and you're not becoming smarter. Naps are also a very controversial topic with sleep. Some people think naps are good, some people think naps are bad. Well, they can be good if done in moderation. So naps help with relaxation and help decrease fatigue. And it's recommended that you nap for around 30 minutes because this is right before you hit the deep sleep phase. Because as I said earlier, once you hit that deep sleep phase, if you're woken up from a nap, you're going to be more tired than before you even started that nap. So if you must take a nap for more than 30 minutes, I recommend you waking up after an hour and a half because that's when you complete one whole sleep cycle so you don't wake up groggy. Well, Victoria, what if I'm doing all this stuff? I'm sleeping 8+ hours, I'm following good sleep hygiene, and I'm not taking too many naps, and I'm taking under 30-minute naps. Why am I still tired? Well, sleep is very complicated too. There are so many other factors that can make you feel tired even when you're getting enough sleep. So let's first talk about health. So if you have a lot of underlying medical conditions, that might affect your quality of sleep as well. And nutrients are very important to feeling awake throughout the day. So if you're deficient in things like iron, magnesium, B1, B2, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, well, guess what? You're still going to feel tired throughout the day, even if you've had enough sleep. A lot of you might think, oh, I'm probably not deficient in any of these vitamins, but over 50% of the world's population is deficient in vitamin D. So I suggest you to go to the doctor and regularly check what vitamins you're deficient in because this is really important for our general mood. Some chronic stress can also make you tired when you've gotten enough sleep. Something else that's very common is insomnia. This is kind of a sleeping disorder, and this is where you have trouble falling asleep or staying in sleep. This is very detrimental because if you're constantly waking up throughout the night, you're not getting enough of that REM and deep sleep. This can be caused from stress, anxiety, depression, or simply aging. It's more common in women rather than males because a lot of estrogen is produced during pregnancy, so it really blocks that melatonin and you have trouble falling asleep. So if you have insomnia, it's incredibly important for you to consult a doctor so you can really get that good sleep. Now we're going to be talking about sleep debt. For example, if I sleep really well this week, I'm getting 8 hours every single day, but next week I'm only getting 5 or 6 hours every day. Well, the week after that is going to hinder in my favor. Sleep debt carries on. So if I didn't sleep well last week, I can still feel tired this week if I'm sleeping enough. So can we recover from sleep debt? Well, yes, we can. It's possible, but it's really difficult, to be honest. You can only recover from sleep debt gradually because if you sleep 2 more hours than your normal sleep cycle, then you feel more tired. And for short-term sleep debt, to recover from 1 hour of lost sleep, it can take up to 4 days, which is a really long time. And if you want to recover from great sleep debt, like significant sleep debt, that can take more than 9 days, and sometimes you might not ever be able to recover from the sleep debt. Sleep is something that not a lot of people talk about, and a lot of teens like me struggle from. And the biggest advice I would give you to take away from my presentation is just enjoy your sleep process. Trust me, if you really embrace getting more sleep and trust the process and get more sleep, you will be the smartest, most powerful you ever will be. And make sure to take on leadership. Tell everyone around you all the information you learned today. Make sure everyone is getting adequate sleep so we will have a very happy society. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you get wonderful sleep.
Excellent, Victoria. Well done, well done. I can see you practice what you preach. I'd asked if you had the energy. Yes, and that's a lot of energy. It's been a full day, and you're still very animated, very informative, very engaging.
Thank you.
One question for you. I'd a lot more questions, but we have so little time now. I thought of one question. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on listening to soothing music or white noise sleep?
White noise is very interesting. So it kind of relates to, are you supposed to listen to music while studying? Again, it all depends on you as well, because white noise can actually be beneficial for many people, because a lot of people have trouble. For example, little kids need night lights to sleep, which isn't very good for them.
Right.
But honestly, falling asleep with white noise is better than not falling asleep with white noise.
Good point.
So it can be very beneficial for you, and whatever works, whatever fits you.
Cool.
Yeah.
But again, like you had said before, not one size fits all. I can't get it out. One size doesn't fit all. Yes, well said. Very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On June 30th, 2024, the Association of Certified Professional Nutritionists, ACPN, in collaboration with the Canada-wide Business Association of Industry and Commerce and the Canadian National Education Society, successfully concluded the 2024 Life Cycle Wellness Management Competition. With the support of the Canadian federal government, the Community Foundations of Canada, and United Way Centride Canada and Greater Toronto, dozens of families from the community participated in the competition finals. We'd like to acknowledge the Member of Provincial Parliament, Mr. Billy Pang, City Councillor of Scarborough Agincourt, Mr. Nick Mantas, Deputy Mayor of Richmond Hill, Mr. Godwin Chan, and York Regional Councillor, Mr. Alan Ho, for their letters of congratulations for bringing the event to a successful conclusion. As the event began, ACPN Secretary General Ms. Carrie Way presented a commencement speech, highlighting the ACPN's Academic Commission's support for the candidates in the field of health sciences, ensuring their access to the most up-to-date information in the field. Meanwhile, the president of the Canada-wide Business Association of Industry and Commerce, CBAIC, Mr. Edward Zheng, acknowledged its support for the competition with their extraordinary health industry expertise. In addition, the CBAIC works to connect local communities with the newest scientific innovation in health sciences in association with the National Education Society. Together, the organizations are able to provide the latest and greatest health science solutions to local families, as well as implementing education of periodic life and health science and its real-life day-to-day applications. The competition includes several age groups, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, and 13 to 18.
我们这次举办这个是生命全周期的健康管理比赛，主要是针对那个儿童、青少年。因为我们认为儿童和青少年他们学习能力是蛮强的，只是可能没有发现而已。所以我们致力于连接社区、家庭和儿童和青少年。通过这个过程当中呢，我们发现他们取得了非常非常大的进步。
参加儿童全息健康比赛，我非常受感动。最小的小孩4岁，最大的10几岁，他们都对健康有深入的了解，而且他们对整个的健康的认识程度是让我非常的惊讶。那么我希望全人类都为了健康追求健康，那从儿童做起。希望今后所有的家长对孩子们从孩子抓起，从我们自身抓起，使我们全人类健康走向更好的这个未来。
这是个非常大的荣幸，当做今天的 ACPN 的 MC。我的背景主要的是教育，但是我也就是非常注意营养。我还记得 ACPN 刚开始的时候，我觉得他们的 idea 非常好。我现在能看见他们的成就非常大，他们把很多梦想可以说已经实现了。那么我也非常希望我可以再继续跟 ACPN 合作。今天很感动，今天的小孩。真的懂我们小的时候真的不能懂的事儿。其实不管就是很小很早就开始学会这些非常重要的education 的思想，但是他们学到的也是非常实用，不只是书面上的，就是他们。明明做了很多研究，有一个学生做一个叫survey， 就是他研究了很多，也就是面试了很多他的同学还有成人，他们研究了很多，所以我真的觉得今天真的是个非常大的日子，我真的觉得以后 ACPN 会有非常大的成就，而且我还有非常大的成功，我真的非常期待我下次有机会主持这样的活动。
Eating. The purpose of the Life Cycle Wellness Management Competition is to establish three major forces to improve health: the power of science, smart education, and wellness leadership. With these three powers, we will explore hollow information of health-related science, industry, and life biomarkers. Armed with this information, we can evaluate our health status in a more systematic, objective, and scientific manner, make more accurate wellness plans and decisions, and manage health more safely and effectively. Further, we can better identify nutritional needs and make better decisions regarding health, allowing people to intelligently and rationally make purchase decisions and manage their body scientifically. ACPN has been dedicated over the years in working with health professionals to create a new framework for scientific knowledge to close the gap between science, industry, global information, and the health needs of the community. The promotion of life cycle wellness management based on foods, functional nutrients, and natural health products is a core focus as part of the effort of elevating Canada's position in the global wellness management industry. With the organization of a multitude of events and training, the ACPN is leading the way into a new era of family wellness management for society. While the competition has concluded, the ACPN continues down the path of exploring life cycle wellness management, keeping up the work in the community to bridge the gap between industry and consumer. In acknowledgement of ACPN's efforts in completing federal government projects in the field and their hard work in the community, the Minister of International Trade, Export Promotion, Small Business and Economic Development, Honorable Mary Eng, presented ACPN with a certificate of appreciation, acknowledged ACPN's achievements, encouraged the continuation of their current efforts, thank ACPN for creating better opportunities through leadership, partnership, and social responsibility, and invited ACPN to present at the Foundation for the Restoration of Community Services event. The ACPN hopes the event has successfully inspired all attendees to take a new perspective at life cycle wellness management and aspire to become wellness leaders for themselves, family, and thereby connecting daily life communities' wellness needs with advanced scientific innovations. This will create happier and better quality of life for global communities and lead the future.